All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Center on Rural Innovation's third annual virtual pitch event. My name is Molly Pyle. I am the head of entrepreneurship, and I am so honored and excited to be your host this evening. We are really thrilled for this event to come back in the third year, and the ongoing theme is small towns and big ideas. And that concept is really at the heart of everything that we do here at CORI. We know that rural America is home to some of the best and brightest innovators and tech entrepreneurs in our nation, but currently they are receiving less than 2% of the total venture capital investment available. So we aim to change that for the better, and it won't happen just with our efforts alone. So thank you all for tuning in and supporting the startups this evening. With enough support and amplification, we know that the tides will continue to shift in favor of rural tech startups, proving that it does not take a big city to make a big impact. And on that note, this evening you are going to hear pitches from 10 tech startups representing 9 different rural communities from 8 states across the country, from Arkansas to Vermont, Michigan to Virginia, Wisconsin to Colorado, and Minnesota to Maine. We are so proud of the rural entrepreneurs who will be pitching tonight. We've invited a panel of investors to score each pitch, and at the end of the evening, we'll be tallying up the scores and announcing the winning startup, who will take home $10,000 cash towards their venture. We thought that the best way to sort of kick off this evening is to bring out last year's winner to share a little bit about their experience and what the prize money helped unlock for their venture. But before we get into that, we did want to set the stage for who you'll be hearing from the judges. And I want to introduce you all to the Center on Rural Innovation's founder and executive director, Matt Dunn, to introduce the judges and also thank our sponsors without whom we would not be able to put on this event. So Matt, take it away.
Great. Thank you, Molly. And I am so excited for this event. It is a palpable thing. Since this is the product of the work that we do all year round, which is setting up rural communities to be able to support amazing innovators and founders to be able to be successful in bringing their ideas to market. And one of the things we decided we could do is to elevate it through a pitch competition, one that is inviting people from all across the country to be able to participate and see things virtually, and also to be able to provide a cash prize. So I look forward to this. This is our third year doing it, and super excited to be here and to be able to see these entrepreneurs over the next little bit. But we couldn't do this without our sponsors. And this year, our sponsors include the Venable Law Firm, and then individuals, including Robert and Jeanette Dells, Nick Greenfield, and Colin and Tiffany Polidor. We also have the Merit and Merit Law Firm that once again is sponsoring the event by providing the winner with a $5,000 in-kind legal services to be able to help them with whatever challenge they are trying to overcome to be able to bring their product and company to market and to success. And I also do want to thank our judges who are taking their time to evaluate and ask questions of these founders. We have Alex Betnick, Jamie Rodota, Chloe Kinderman, and Julie Penner. And I would like the judges to just take a second to introduce themselves.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Chloe Kinderman. I'm an associate with Titletown Tech. We're an early stage venture fund formed out of a unique partnership between the Packers and Microsoft. Really excited to be here.
Hey, I'm Alex Bennick. I was at Battery Ventures for 22 years and I left this summer. I'm working on my own fund now, so I'm an entrepreneur, just like many of you all of you presenting on the call tonight.
Hey everyone, I'm Jamie Rodota. Thank you to CORI for having me, and excited to be here tonight. I work for Revolution's Rise of the Rest Seed Fund. We are a early stage venture capital firm that only invests in companies outside Silicon Valley, New York City, and Boston.
Hi everyone, I'm Julie Penner. I'm the entrepreneur in residence at the Telluride Venture Network, and a venture partner for a family office in Utah called the Fraser Group. Glad to be here today.
Awesome. And though he's not quite in the formal judging role, we do want to have our own Jay Buckhouse of the CORI Fund say a quick hello, as he's a constantly available resource to the rural founders that we work with, but also here in support tonight. If you want to say hi, Jay.
CORI's own CORI Innovation Fund. We focus exclusively on scalable tech entrepreneurs making it work in rural areas. So I'm excited to hear all of these pitches.
Awesome. Thank you, Jay. And thank you again to all of the judges. Now, for a brief conversation with last year's pitch event winner, Kayla Wright-Jackson, the CEO of Transition. So Kayla, welcome. Would love to kick things off with you just sharing a little bit more about Transition. What does your company do and how'd you get started?
Absolutely. Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here again. I'm Kayla Wright-Jackson, CEO and co-founder at Transition, a workforce development platform that's reshaping the way professionals enter and advance in healthcare. So as you know, it's no secret that our healthcare workforce is suffering. So we established in late 2021 during the pandemic because we saw a huge need for change. And as former educators, care workers, and operators in this space, our team has devoted the past 2 years to addressing workforce shortages in healthcare. We've developed a comprehensive career development platform with useful tools specifically designed to help entry-level professionals enter and advance within the field. And our solution has been proven to really bridge that gap between education and employment and has been recognized by prestigious organizations like Society for Human Resource Management, Google for Startups, Forbes, and other government workforce agencies.
Amazing. And it's just really exciting to see everything you've been able to do. Was hoping you could tell us just what was the pitch event experience like for you last year? It's already been a year. Isn't that wild?
I know. I mean, time has flown, and the experience last year was very exciting and gratifying. Honestly, I was a little nervous and anxious at first because, I was up against some pretty great founders who were building awesome companies and had extensive traction. But it really gave me the chance to learn about what others were doing and to discover how I could add other, successful components to my business model. So, I think opportunities like these are not only great ways to get exposure and, of course, win capital, but, it's an opportune time to learn more ways to innovate because, it's very crucial as an early stage founder.
Nice. And we know it's, $10,000 grand scheme of things may not be a lot, but could you speak to how that may have supported your company or what it went to in the bigger picture of things?
Absolutely. It went a long way. The prize was very instrumental to build out key features to support our healthcare professionals. Specifically, we were able to successfully launch our AI-powered career navigation tool to over 153 school partners across the nation and transition more than 4,000 early professionals. And then on top of that, the bonus legal stipend really helped us to create key partnership agreements that we used to close big deals. So it was awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I have to say, unfortunately for our first year's winner, we did not have that $5,000 in-kind legal support. So Kayla was the first one to get to win that, and as last year's second year winner. And I'm really happy to hear that it was so beneficial for you. Mm-hmm. I was wondering if you could speak to just how different your experience has been being a tech startup based in a rural place, knowing also that you've experienced working and building in the metro area, but what is that rural experience like and why do you find that valuable?
Absolutely. I feel like the rural rural areas are so underserved. And to be able to, be a technology platform bringing better solutions to that market, was really eye-opening to see where those gaps were, especially in such a large industry like healthcare. And on top of that, a lot has changed in the last year, particularly with technology companies. I'm pretty sure many of you have heard of OpenAI's ChatGPT and its newest release with GPT. So, it's very important that founders nowadays start to position your solution to align with these new technologies, especially in these rural areas where they could really be of support. So, I just believe that it won't be long before all solutions will have some AI components within their application or offering. And so just really kind of think about how your differentiators are bringing unique aspects to the market.
And you had given some tips actually previously when we were lucky enough to have Kayla join our tech check, but wondering if there's anything more you would say to rural entrepreneurs or people who want to support rural entrepreneurship, any words of advice or wisdom or lessons learned that you would want others to know about?
Absolutely. You know, I think networking is the #1 important thing, no matter what market you're in, but, you know, especially within rural areas, you know, you never know who might be down the street, you know, at a local business that you could support that knows other people as well that are looking for some type of support. So I think that networking aspect is very important. So keep building, keep sharing your story, keep pitching, and good luck.
Great. And just wondering, you know, to close us out, because in I think classic entrepreneur form, you are doing, you know, a great service by being here and inspiring others and showing what you've been able to make possible. But is there anything that we as a community could do to support you? What are you focusing on right now? And is there anything that you'd like to share about or make an ask of to this group of folks who really just want to see you and all rural tech startups win?
Yeah, I mean, I would love if, you know, you could check out Transition. I could drop the website in the chat. You know, we're looking for introductions to healthcare schools and healthcare employers that are, you know, looking to close these workforce gaps. It really is going to take a village to do this. And again, just going back to that network support, every founder needs support of their network to be successful. So I would love any introductions to major stakeholders in this space.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kayla. We really appreciate everything that you've shared with this community, and just amplifying that you were here last year as the winner is just really exciting to see that you're still here making so much progress with Transition, and you have a friend in CORI ultimately and this group of individuals. So keep it going and team Transition all day.
Thank you so much, Molly.
Great. So I am sure you're all really excited now to move into the pitches. So without further ado, I would love us to get right into it. And the first one up to take the virtual stage, her name is Julia Taylor. She's from Durango, Colorado. And like I imagine many people from Colorado and similar places, Julia spent over a year during COVID traveling the country and living out of an RV. And an even more fun fact that we just learned is that she has trained her dog on how to bring her beverages. So make of that what you will, but a real innovator here taking the stage and telling us about her company, Geekpack. So Julia, go ahead and take it away.
Wonderful, thank you. Right, I will share my screen. Right. Hi, I'm Julia Taylor, the CEO and founder of Geekpack. We are on a mission to close the digital skills gap by empowering women to achieve economic mobility through community-supported digital education. According to the World Economic Forum, 90% of all jobs require digital skills. In the US, 1/3 of workers lack the digital skills needed to succeed in today's economy, which affects over 25 million women in the US alone. With millions being left behind, we know women are the key to closing this gap. And jobs that require digital skills pay more, improving the likelihood of economic mobility. We put digital skills into 3 categories: foundational, intermediate, and advanced skills. Everything from digital literacy with basic office skills to in-demand skills like digital marketing and data analytics. Since 2018, we've been working to close the digital skills gap with our B2C products. We are very fortunate to have been profitable from day one when we launched WP Rockstar. This is an affordable e-learning curriculum that focuses on coding, WordPress, and digital marketing so that women can break out of dead-end jobs, start their own businesses, and become financially independent. The Geekpack Collective is our membership program that includes on-demand tech and digital training, coaching, and community. The Geekpack Partners Program is our newest B2B initiative, and it is the key to maximizing our impact and fulfilling our vision of bringing 1 million women into tech by 2030. We partner with mission-driven organizations like Economic and Workforce Development and facilitate their digital skills training so we can serve more people, stabilize more communities, and ultimately change the face of tech forever. Through our pilot program with Wyoming Women's Business Center, we developed a custom digital marketing course based on the needs of their rural entrepreneurial community. With over 10,000 economic and workforce development organizations in the US and 1.24 billion women globally, our market is big, so we have real opportunity to make a positive impact. Our innovative approach to online learning combines digital skills training with a supportive community for accountability, all at a fraction of the cost of higher education, making it accessible to anyone with an internet connection. Community is at the foundation of everything we do at Geekpack, and it stems from my own personal experience. When I started learning tech skills and digital skills, I didn't have a community. And when I asked for help in online forums, I was made fun of for asking stupid questions. So I created a space where there's no such thing as a stupid question, so no one else had to feel the way I'd felt. And we believe representation matters. If you don't see yourself represented in the world around you, it can limit what you see as your potential. I was a military wife and moved around a lot, so I bounced from job to job until I realized that with digital skills, I could work from anywhere, and I started my own business that made over $70K in the first year. This was the seed of inspiration to start Geekpack and empower women around the world to do the same. As a rural founder based in Southwest Colorado, I believe there's more to innovative technology than Silicon Valley startups and billion-dollar R&D campuses. True innovation can happen anywhere, regardless of location, and due to the nature of how we operate remotely, I have no intention of leaving the Colorado mountains. Our globally diverse team has been hired for their passion and includes full-time employees, contractors, and advisors with backgrounds in everything from coding, digital marketing, HR, teaching, and finance. We all believe strongly in our mission and vision. Every employee and contractor started out as a student first. The lived experience of our team helps our students overcome the same barriers many of us faced ourselves, creating an easier path for others to achieve their potential. Since 2020, we've had an average 18% growth rate, which built a foundation to grow a team and invest in sustainable future growth. While 2023 is bucking that trend, our B2B Partners Program is the key to long-term growth and scaling our impact to reach our vision. We are thrilled by the momentum we've built recently with securing several grants and strategic partnerships. In the last 12 months, we've been awarded 4 grants totaling $325,000. Perhaps the most exciting news is that we're part of a coalition that received a Tech Hub designation in quantum information technology from President Biden. We're now in the running for $50 to $75 million in funding to make Colorado a global leader in quantum. We've also made great progress with brand recognition and growing thought leadership by attending and speaking at several industry conferences. We are on the cutting edge of an incredible global cultural shift in how, where, and why we work. By working together, we can do so much more to help women build skills, find community, and be their most successful selves. Because when women rise, we all rise. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Julia. Very inspiring. And now we are going to turn it over to our panel of judges to see what questions they have for you. So judges, go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Great job, Julia. Really important mission to tackle. I'm glad someone like you is working on it. What are sort of some of the existing players in this space getting wrong about the women that you serve, and how do you kind of use that information arbitrage and to build a great business?
Sure. We've looked across the board at what other people are doing and what makes what we do different. And we have heard directly from our students, and they have told us what makes us different. And I think the fact that on one side, you can have just mass online learning and you can go and you can learn, but there's no one else doing it with you, no one else that is in the same position as you, and you can't really ask questions. with comfort at least. Or you're on the other side where it might be a very kind of full-time 15, 20-week coding boot camp, and you can't work at the same time. So there's not really something in between. And that's what we want to build, which is you can learn online, it's all virtual, but we also have the community aspect for the accountability to make sure that people are actually completing and moving forward, but you can do it on your own time. You don't have to quit your job. You can do it at the same time. So we feel like we fit right there in the middle between those two options.
Great, thanks.
Julia, I appreciate your pitch. Great work, and nice to see a fellow Coloradan. Can you talk a little more about your vision of these women who, once they have those skills, creating their own business versus working for someone else? That's another skill set to tackle, and I wonder if might be a lot to take on, both the digital skill adding and learning how to run your own small business and how you think about that.
Absolutely. And we actually started with teaching the skills and how to start the business, because that's my personal experience. Although my personal experience, it took me years. So we're trying to say, here are the skills you can learn to then start your own business, find the clients, and scale that business if they so wish, because that's what a lot of our students and a lot of our audience wants. They want that freedom. They want to be their own boss. They want to be able to work from anywhere. However, we do have a large segment of our audience over the years who have said, I'd like full-time. I would like to have the benefits of working for a company. And part of why we're transitioning and offering and going into the B2B space is to fill that gap based on what our audience is asking us for. So we really want to be able to do both. We've done the how to become an entrepreneur. And we've been doing that for years. And we're going into the how to get a full-time job and get the skills that employers are looking for.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Julia. We will keep it moving and bring up our next entrepreneur. So we are continuing on. The next founder taking this stage is going to be DeAndre Mason. He is from Red Wing, Minnesota, and he and his founder are actually no strangers to pitch events. They won Best in Tech for Southern Minnesota this past May. So here to pitch his startup, SAB Co. Please welcome DeAndre Mason. DeAndre, go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, Molly. All right, let me share my screen. Okay, great. All right, awesome. Hi, everyone. I am DeAndre Mason, the CEO and co-founder of SAB Co Software. So SAB Co Software works with brokers and employers that have supplemental insurance plans. We're helping bridge the gap between HR and payroll systems, eliminating the burden of the employee benefits administration process that's offered today. So we know insurance is daunting and employee benefits can be a nightmare. We provide a solution that makes it easy and simple. All right, so we've all worked for an employer at some point of our lives, which we've all received a paycheck. And on that paycheck, there are deductions that our employer is responsible for properly administrating and deducting for our health benefits. However, our block analysis show that 1 in 4 companies are incorrectly deducting out of their employees' paychecks around $8,600 a month due to many factors in the employee benefits process today. So in the unique 204 supplemental groups that we looked at, 52 of them were incorrectly deducting. That's a 25.5% inaccuracy rate, putting them at financial and reputational risk. So today, the self-administration system is a half-built solution, which it is a cumbersome manual process to create these necessary insurance carrier reports that can take up to 6 to 8 hours a week just to produce with no safeguards in place. In addition, one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, that a company will depart from their insurance broker, it's due to a billing or invoicing issue. All right, so SAB Co Software has built a streamlined hands-off solution called SAB Vantage that automates the administration process while also having checks and balances in place to catch errors before they become a problem. Through the help of our IP, we can customize specific solutions that our customers need and provide analytics for brokers and companies of any size. Our software solution, SAB Vantage, have taken those 6 to 8 manual hours and converted those into mere seconds. And then we can also increase insurance brokers' block of business by 4% and higher retention rate as well while using our solution. Amongst our competitors, we've identified two types of categories that are offered in the employee benefits world, one being payroll focused and the other being HR focused. Within those two competitors, they're primarily focused on that pre-benefit enrollment side and not really focused on the post-benefit enrollment side. So they're trying to get as many people signed up for benefits as possible, making the upstream enrollment very crowded while the downstream side is neglected, which we are focusing in. So we're working with our clients month over month throughout the entire benefit year, making sure that their invoices are paid accurately and on time and leaving no room for potential mistakes. So between myself, my co-founder Joe, and our team, we have over 15 plus years of experience in the employee benefits insurance industry. First starting out on the customer facing side, learning the ins and outs of the insurance world, developing the knowledge of those underwriting complex Indian rules. Later on, both myself and my co-founder Joe became full stack data developers. So taking our industry knowledge and our technical skills and creating a solution to a problem that has been overlooked for years. So we have a blue ocean strategy, meaning few to none are swimming in our same niche. Unless you have a DeAndre or Joe, you won't be able to duplicate our software solution. As I mentioned, it takes both sides having the industry knowledge and the technical skills to build the answer. So here we have our pricing model breakdown. So we are a subscription-based fee membership. We have an initial enrollment fee, and then we also have our monthly recurring fee at the $299, $399 per month per product per group. And then also you can see our solution SABvantage pays for itself. As I mentioned, if we quantify those 6 to 8 manual hours that an average bin admin puts in HR, getting paid $35 an hour, that's $280 back in savings per invoice. So that alone just speaks number in itself and is a win-win for everyone. A little backstory on us founders in SAB Co software. So I mentioned Joe and myself took our industry knowledge and technical skills and we created SAB Co software. SAB Co stands for Self-Administration Billing Company. All of us coming together to solve a problem that can directly or indirectly affect each and every one of us that have worked for an employer, which in fact our very own CFO, Nick Devine, right there in the middle, experienced this himself firsthand. So while Nick was at an employer, he had a life event which he needed to tap into a supplemental insurance coverages, only to find out that his benefit deductions were being incorrectly deducted out of his paycheck for the last 6 months. Now, Nick, not knowing this, when he spoke to his insurance company, he was only eligible for half of the benefit coverage amount that he should have been, putting his trust and his confidence with his employer on the line. In the end, Nick was stuck with a pretty hefty medical bill for a problem that he did not do. So long story short, even when you're working for a major corporate company, when you assume all is correct, you're still at risk of falling within that 25.5% inaccuracy rate. There you have it. We're SAB Co software, eliminating the burden of the employee benefits administration process, helping bridge the gap between HR and payroll systems. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes, thank you so much, DeAndre. That was great. And we are going to move right into the questions from the judges. So judges, over to you all. What questions do you have for SAB Co and DeAndre?
Hey, DeAndre, great presentation. Appreciate that. My question is, what is your ICP? And within that ICP target, your initial, your target customer, what % are using a PEO? And are you competitive? Like I didn't see, well, Gusto might be considered a PEO, but are you competitive with PEOs? You talked about self-administration, and what % of the market is that? Does that mean you're left with, if that makes sense?
Sure. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit tough. So we work generally just with like the employee benefits, the supplemental plans of the market. Right now, are you speaking on like how many of our companies are using like payroll systems?
Yeah, I'm just thinking how I've administrated payrolls in companies before as I've hired a PEO, right? So who are self-administrating?
Sure. So in the self-administration world, what it is basically the insurance companies put the responsibility on the employer to administrate their benefits. And who's doing that is going to be someone in HR. So it's going to be an employer at the company that's going to administrate their benefits. So they have to manually come up and place their employees into the different buckets. And that manual process is where the error comes in line. Does that answer?
And I'm still a bit lost, because doesn't if you have a PEO, wouldn't they administrate the insurance, right? They would do the deduction.
It's still
And take
a
the
manual
liability?
process. Who's ever doing it, if it's the PEO or if it's someone in HR, it's still the process of how they're doing the self-accounting is where the problem lies.
And so what is your ICP, and what percent of that is doing this self-administrating process?
I guess I'm not following the full question, but every company that we work for does self-administration process. Like there's not another company that has automated it, if that's answering. Like everyone that it's a manual process.
I'll let another judge ask a question, because I don't want to take all your question time, and maybe
Sorry, but yeah, I would love to
maybe I'm off
connect
track.
after this. And yeah, I'll follow up.
Sure.
No, DeAndre, great pitch. Maybe just to follow up or maybe come at it from a different angle. Is your initial focus on selling to the company or the broker, or do you need to have critical maths on one side or the other to attract, the other side, kind of in this two-sided dynamic?
Yeah, so we actually do both. And our initial go-to-market was to go to an insurance broker, because every single company that has self-employed benefits work with an insurance broker. They don't work directly to the insurance carrier. So in some cases, we've been white label with insurance brokers. And at the same time, the insurance broker has a rapport relationships with their clients, and they have a block of business. So they roll us out as a new innovative tool for their clients. So we've gone that way. And then we've also pivoted over the last 2 years and have worked directly with companies. And then we get brought into their insurance or into their insurance broker.
Time for just a quick question before we move on. Quick one. Chloe, go ahead.
What have you been learning from your early customers?
Yeah, so a lot of it is just the ROI that they get, right? Because there are companies that have a good process down. They don't have that many employees, where they don't need, like, the help of the automation part is great, but then we also have our audit part where we can find them missing money, or we can show them that if they've been overpaying. So in some cases like that, when that's not necessarily the issue, then it's just a different conversation that we've had to learn to how to navigate that process.
Thanks.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you, DeAndre and SAB Co. We are going to keep it moving right along to our next startup. We are staying in the region, also in Red Wing, Minnesota. Please welcome Susan Langer, the founder of Spave. And Susan is not just a founder, but a world traveler, having been to 33 countries across 4 continents. So we're very lucky and grateful that she's choosing to build her venture in rural America in Red Wing, Minnesota. And here to tell us more about her company, Spave, let's all please give a warm welcome to Susan. And Susan, you can go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Molly. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for having us. I'm Susan Langer, founder and CEO of Spave, joined by our CFO, Eileen Lundberg. Spave is a revolutionary fintech born out of Southeast Minnesota. With illustrious careers in banking, marketing, and philanthropy from corporate giants like US Bank, General Mills, Cargill, Hallmark, and World Vision, our team is well-equipped and passionate about our mission to transform spending for good. As you might have guessed, Spave is spending and saving combined. It's also an acronym for sharing purpose and value every day. Spave was founded in 2016 out of Red Wing Ignite, and we've come a long way since then. From winning the Red Wing Ignite Cup in 2017 to raising over $500,000 from family and friends, to creating prototypes, beta tests, and getting Spave in the App Store, to an $11 million acquisition in 2021, to reacquiring Spave this year, and re-releasing Spave back in the App Stores this month. So what's the problem?
I'm so sorry. Did you want to share your screen as well?
I thought I was sharing my screen. I'm sorry.
all good. I think your intro is just so powerful that we were going along with the story. But if you want to go ahead and share, go for it.
Yeah, of course. Okay, yes, you've got to see this.
Yeah, I want to make sure everyone heard what Susan just said too. She had an exit and then bought her company back. So pretty cool story. And Susan, you can go ahead and take it.
There we go. All right, I am going to move this up. All right. So there's our team, our illustrious careers in banking and marketing from all over. We're equipped and passionate about our mission. And Spave was founded in 2016 out of Red Wing Ignite. We've come a long way. We've raised a lot of money. We've created prototypes. We've done a whole bunch of stuff. And we were acquired in 2021 and reacquired Spave, as I said, and we're re-releasing Spave back in the app stores this month. So what's the problem we're solving? Consumer fintech is fragmented, it's complex, and it doesn't align with millennial values. This generation is future focused, they're altruistic, and they crave simplicity. We've conducted a ton of research over the years, and they told us, show me that you know me and make me trust you. I know what I want, and I want it now. Don't make me work for it, and I want to know that I'm making a difference. There are 3.5 billion smartphone owners worldwide. We're hyper-targeting the 70 million millennials in the US who donated $32 billion to charity. Meet Olivia, our target persona. She's 30 to 40 years old, married, a mom, employed, not budgeting, and wishes she could give more to the causes she cares about. She knows she can do better, but she doesn't see a way forward. The good news is we know Olivia well, what she values and who influences her, because most of our team are Olivia's. Millennials seek financial apps that are simple, connected, and whole. Enter Spave, the first ever all-in-one financial wholeness solution with a unique focus on giving and inspiring social good. In fact, we coined the phrase financial wholeness to express the unique nature of Spave, our value proposition, that of harmonizing spending, saving, and giving in one holistic experience. Spave offers control, choice, community, and convenience to the 84% of millennials who donate to charity, and delivers digital consolidation to the 87% of millennials who demand super apps. Here's how it works. Spave empowers users in 3 simple steps. Once you download the app, you link your bank accounts, checking, savings, credit cards from various banks. Then set giving and savings goals. Then choose your spaving method. Round up spare change or apply a % or fixed amount to each purchase. It's super simple. Spave's dynamic integration allows users to analyze their spending through our Insights module, empowering users to make informed, healthy decisions. So how do we make money? Our revenue streams include B2C and B2B models, evolving to multiple revenue sources to accelerate growth and profitability. We currently offer 2 versions of the app. We charge a monthly subscription fee for premium with quarterly and annual discounts to gain access to additional features and functionality, as well as a fee on every donation. By the end of 2024, 250,000 users will generate $3.6 million in annual recurring revenues. We'll realize monthly profitability from 1 million users by year-end 2025. Here's how we'll confidently attract and retain Olivia. We're focusing on paid, earned, and owned media through social, PR, targeted ads, email marketing, blog posts, and eventually micro-influencers. We'll keep her engaged through nudges derived from AI and machine learning. We'll scale through B2B networks and national nonprofits. We've won numerous awards over the years, most notable Finovate's Best in Show last year. Speaking of awards, we're very proud to have award-winning partners attacking our tech development, our marketing, and growth. We're raising $4.5 million, representing a 35% equity split into 2 rounds. We seek investors who have an affinity with fintech, female founders, social impact, and of course, rural innovation. We anticipate a 3-year exit with a forecasted $32 million in annual recurring revenue by December 2026. We're offering an impressive 5 to 10x ROI potential for initial seed investors. Spave is at the forefront of the fintech SaaS revolution. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Together, we'll transform spending for good. One community, one person, one transaction at a time. Because with Spave, everybody wins. Thank you for your time, and I welcome your questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Susan. It's fantastic. And we will see now what questions the judges have for us.
Yeah, Susan, really, really nice job. Fascinating background history. Would love to get into that. But how do you think about kind of stratifying your go-to-market between the B2B element and the B2C element, and really reaching those Olivias, right? I guess where do they hang out, and how do you think about really kind of embedding yourself as part of their kind of day-to-day?
Yeah, that's a great question, Chloe. Thank you. No, we know all about Olivia. We've done a ton of research. She has FOMO. She has a fear of missing out. She wants to better mom. She's looking for things that will help her do her life better. So we know that she goes to Target. She shops at Amazon. She gets involved in mom focus groups or forums where they help each other with ideas. We heard about there is a Peloton for moms. There's Target hauls. I mean, things that I don't understand, but certainly our team has taught us a lot in our research. But we know that she's looking for ways just to better mom. And we also know that we need to get some initial consumer traction and also insights from consumers. But we also know that our B2B will help us scale much more quickly. Maybe retailers, employers, employee benefit platforms, et cetera.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Susan, for the pitch. I know this is probably a longer story, but I'm super interested. In a nutshell, if you could tell us why you repurchased the business. What inspired you?
Yes, absolutely. No, we were purchased by a large credit union, and they just wanted to focus in the credit union, which we understood, and that was great. And we really wanted to take Spave to the masses, and we were not progressing as quickly as we really wanted to. We weren't accelerating. And we also wanted access to the bank products. And unfortunately, they weren't able to provide that to us with their legacy platform. So we just decided to part ways. It was mutual and it was positive.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much. That is an amazing story. And Susan, we appreciate so much your time and your effort in this space. And we can go ahead and keep it rolling to our next startup. So let's all welcome founder Ken James of NEK Biosciences, hailing from Vermont's Northeast Kingdom, as the name implies. Also, in true Vermonter fashion, Ken is not only a biomedical scientist, but also an apple orchardist. So here to share more about his startup, please welcome Ken James of NEK Biosciences. Ken, go ahead and take it away whenever you're ready.
Thanks, Molly. Let me share my screen. Great. Greetings, everyone from Vermont. We certainly appreciate the opportunity to give you a quick veterinary science lesson tonight and introduce you to our lead product, the choreographed collagen wound gel. So the leaf peepers were just up here taking pictures of the colorful mountains, the lakes, the farms, and certainly my very photogenic neighbors down at the local dairy got many pictures taken of them. And if you were to stop into a dairy, you'd also notice that some of the cows have some very colorful hooves, and that these cows are limping. They're in pain. Because pressure sores often develop on a cow's sole. Here's an important equation. When a cow is in pain, they don't eat as much. And if a cow doesn't eat as much, the cow doesn't make as much milk. So these hoof sores are definitely not good for the cow and certainly not good for the farmer's bank account. It's a painful problem. Researchers at Cornell estimate that these pressure sores occur in 20 to 30% of dairy cows every year. So, and at a cost of about $350 a case. So just here in Little Vermont, that adds up to about 30,000 cows, upwards of $10.5 million. And looking at the entire US, that jumps up to about 2.5 million cows at a cost approaching $1 billion. Why do these pressure sores occur? Cow genetics, feed, activity levels, weight, even the weather are thought to contribute. So with the Choreograph collagen gel, we're looking to bring advanced wound care technology found in the doctor's office to the dairy farm. Super simple to use. After the hoof is trimmed and the wound is cleaned, the veterinarian or farmer simply applies the Choreograph collagen to the wound just before wrapping up, which makes for this important equation. Decreased pain plus increased healing speed equals increased milk production and improved animal welfare. NEK Biosciences is a committed team of 2. I'm Ken, founder and chief scientist. Kelsey is VP of making everything possible. Her farm and food experience and connections have proved invaluable. She's fearless in the lab. And through her work as a nurse assistant, she gets that healing pressure sores can be a challenge. Previously, I was chief scientist at TEI Biosciences in Boston. TEI was a successful startup. There, we discovered how to make what's arguably the fanciest leather ever. We figured out how to take discarded cowhide, put it through a series of processing steps so that a surgeon can implant it into a patient to generate a new living functional tissue, including skin. Because just like cows, people often have chronic wounds on their feet that need a kickstart to heal. So I hope you're starting to see the connection. If cow collagen can help heal wounds in people, why not use cow collagen to help heal wounds in cows? Choreograph R&D started about 2 years ago. We've since developed the Choreograph collagen gel formulation. We've got pilot manufacturing process down and have confirmed Choreograph's biocompatibility. We've also met with our potential customers, the hoof trimmers, the veterinarians, the dairy farmers. They've given it the thumbs up and are interested to start using it. So 2024 is going to be busy. We've been over to the Cornell Food Venture Center. Collagen is food, and they have the equipment and expertise to scale up manufacture to produce FDA-grade Choreograph. This is the product that we'll be using in the required FDA safety studies and to treat cows. We've consulted with the experts at our leading veterinary schools, and they're interested in formally studying Choreograph's impact on dairy herd health and dairy economics. Now, this product manufacturing and safety and effective studies don't come cheap, so we're coming out of stealth mode, and hence this pitch. Because Kelsey and I think we've got something that can both help our fuzzy neighbors and our dairy farmer friends. So thank you. Of course, feel free to contact me with any questions, and certainly if there are anyone out there with wisdom they'd like to share to a PhD scientist on navigating medtech financing, I'd love to talk. Molly?
Awesome. Thank you, Ken. And love all the photos of the furry friends. So let's go ahead and go over to see our judges and what questions they have for Ken and NEK Biosciences.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. Great to learn about the furry friends in more detail. I don't live too far from some cows, so I have new feelings for them. Maybe you could tell us a little bit more. I'm just not as familiar with the FDA approval process in the veterinary space. You know, could you maybe just lay out a, high level timeline, or, assuming things kind of go roughly to plan, the number of studies, the scope of them, the time associated with them?
Sure. So previously, I was also vice president of regulatory affairs at TEI Biosciences, and so very familiar with the FDA process. And what's curious about the veterinary space for medical device, veterinary medical device such as this, is that there's no submission or regulatory review by FDA. They have a general statement that it's up to us, the company, to determine and to establish that it's a safe and effective product. But unlike a 510K or a PMA review process for a medical device in people, there's no such process for the vet space. So it's fast and we can get to market quick.
Great. And do you have, sort of estimates of, cost to produce and, maybe your kind of cost per application, obviously manufacturing things, cost will go down with scale, but sort of does the sort of math work in a pilot scale?
So
or how are you thinking about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one of the challenges. That was one of our challenges is we need to make this product cheap. Unlike the human world where you can charge $300 to $400 for a small 4x4 centimeter piece, we have to hit a target where a dairy farmer, we've been talking somewhere between $25 and $50 an application. They certainly don't balk at that because for $50, if you can save them $350, that's a good return on investment for sure. And so that's why we have adapted rather than the pharma approach to medical devices. We're looking at this through a food processing lens and using traditional food processing technologies, which are scalable and are amenable to making products that are appropriately priced for this particular market.
Ken, could you oh, sorry. Could you mention any intellectual property, if you have any?
So yes, the patents are in the process. I have my patent attorney, and
Can you talk
we're
about
moving forward with that.
What kind of patent is it, and in general,
So
what
it's
is it on?
Yeah, so the patents on technology such as this are more or less like a processing patent, how we're making the product. And though I'm really interested to talk with others because the whole idea of generating new tissues and different approaches to that, I think we might be able to come up with something creative. But for the most part, these are the patents that we had back in Boston, which have since expired. They were processing patents.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ken. Really inspired us. We
Appreciate
are going
the opportunity.
Yeah, and the cows thank you as well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I not that I would know, but I just get the sense. We're going to move on though to another company, and we are bringing up the founders of Stocked next, Zach Height and Brock Crandall from Traverse City, Michigan. And for any sports fans in the crowd, bit of a fun fact that one of these founders was actually a ball boy for the Detroit Pistons in 2004, which was a big year for them. So let's see if luck is still following them. Zach, you can go ahead and take it away whenever you're ready.
Sure. First off, good job, Julia, DeAndre, Susan, Ken. Really, really good. Really cool stuff going on. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Zach, co-founder and CEO of Stocked, a pre-arrival grocery delivery company for vacation rentals. Now, imagine the frustration of arriving at your vacation rental only to find an empty fridge. This common problem steals the first precious hours of many vacations, turning relaxation into a grocery run. With Stocked, you can walk into your rental, unpack, and grab your favorite snack. We are an easy-to-use e-commerce platform designed specifically for vacationers. Your vacation starts the moment you step in. Let's set the tone here. Property managers are bogged down with calls about the nearest grocery store, and guests start their holiday with a 2 to 4 hour grocery run. That's not a vacation, that's a chore. There's a way to eliminate this grocery hassle. Enter Stocked. We turn the 2 to 4 hour grocery run into a seamless digital experience, delivering groceries straight to rentals. Guests dive into relaxation, not grocery aisles. Stocked is giving back valuable vacation time and boosting check-in satisfaction, which then results in more 5-star ratings for properties. Since our June 21 launch, we've completed over 1,300 orders and generated over $160K in revenue. We are finalizing a partnership with Meyer. Now we've launched Stock 2.0, which is cloud native and built to scale. This product is ready for modern integrations. Now let's talk about the opportunity we're looking at. The total vacation food spend in the US is roughly $38 billion, with $7 billion of that spent on groceries. That's our target market. With our unique proposition, we aim for a 7% conversion on bookings, giving us a potential market share of $482 million. Stocked is positioned to capture this substantial opportunity. In our go-to-market strategy, we've identified 3 key markets, including Traverse City, Michigan, our current and successful market, which has a TAM of 36 million. We currently have relationships with 700 rentals in Traverse City, which equates to a 62% market penetration. Along with Traverse City, we are gearing up to scale to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sarasota, Florida. These have been chosen not just for their size, but for their strategic importance, improving our business model, testing our scalability, and positioning us for national expansion. Our pricing includes a 30% markup, a $9.99 delivery fee per store, and an additional $10 for our stocked up service, where we put our groceries away for the customer. With 90% choosing the stocked up option and drivers averaging a $23 tip, Stocked is a win for everyone. Here's a small breakdown of what a typical order looks like. These numbers come from this past summer. An average order value of $237.99, an average tip of $23, average item subtotal of $195, and an average stock commission of $59. We face competition in both the vacation market, like Grocery Girls and Groceries Ahead, and the home delivery market, like Shipt and Instacart. Stocked uniquely bridges these two worlds, offering a tailored experience for vacationers while maintaining flexibility for home markets. This strategy sets us apart and taps into a broader market. One aspect we have noticed is that our repeats are from rural-based areas, simply where Shipt and Instacart do not travel to. As we've discussed our model, markets, and differentiation, it's essential to hear directly from those who matter most, our guests and partners. We've gathered some feedback from both property managers and guests, those who are both on the front lines of the vacation experience. Meet the leadership team behind Stocked, a trio with the expertise and vision to redefine the vacation experience. Together, we're leveraging our diverse experiences to make Stocked the go-to solution for vacation grocery needs. Now we've shared Stocked's vision and strategy. Now we're seeking $850,000 to fuel our next growth phase, specifically expanding into Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sarasota, Florida. With a profitable month behind us, we are ready to scale. Here's a snapshot of our allocation. Operations and sales. For a strong foundation in new markets, such as onboarding drivers and setting up logistics infrastructure. Technology, enhancing our platform and user experience, such as real-time grocery prices from multiple vendors. And marketing, building brand awareness and customer acquisition in our emerging markets, such as building a base of 500 rentals. Assuming we hit our fundraising goals, we project revenue from $500,000 in 2024 to $2.5 million in 2025, driven by our expansion and marketing efforts. Join us in this exciting opportunity to redefine vacation convenience and make Stocked a household name. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Zach. That was fantastic, and excited to hear what the judges are going to ask you about Stocked. So let's go over to them and see what they got for you.
Thanks, Zach, for your pitch. I'm definitely a potential customer, not only for retreats for companies, but also for my own vacation. So it's got a nice B2B and B2C implications. I'm curious, have you thought about partnering with some of the larger vacation rentals? How is that conversation going? And as you think about that, why Grand Rapids and Sarasota versus maybe places that have larger vacation? Like I don't think of Grand Rapids as a big vacation magnet. So talk more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So really, Traverse City is where we've always had boots on the ground. That's where one of the founders are from. Grand Rapids is 3 hours away from. Okay, let me take a step back here. we're looking at two distinct strategies. We want to see if we can scale remotely, and we want to see if we can scale with boots on the ground. We have someone in Sarasota, Florida, which is 6 times the rental market of Traverse City, and that allows us to really scale remotely, but with someone boots on the ground. Grand Rapids is just far enough away, 3 hours, 2 hours from Traverse City, 3 hours away from my location, enough to be a pain in the to drive there in case that are we going to be able to figure out solutions if we're not there to handle them ourselves? So we really want to explore both of those options.
Is this a marketplace? Are these people work like W-2'd? How do you sort of provide in terms of supply of whatever you call your shoppers?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a marketplace, so people can order per store. We always include local vendors of the area, whether it's like local charcuterie boards, local bakeries. People want to go there, whether celebrating birthdays or anniversaries, what say you? And then people go and they shop, and then we leverage pickup only with all our relationships. So a driver will swoop in, pick up the order, and then take it to the unit.
So which part of it sounds like Momi's like a 3-sided marketplace. You have like rental owners, drivers, and shops. Like when you launch a new market, what do you think what's the most important leg of that stool as you launch new markets?
The most important leg, I really would say 2 things. And I'm not trying to get out of the question, Jamie, but it's the property managers, because the partnerships with them, they're communicating to the guests for us in the welcome emails. They're saying, hey, if you want to use stocked, you can get your groceries delivered before you arrive. But it's also the local vendors as well, because they provide the local unique experience that those people are looking for when they travel to those particular areas. And no, I was not at the Palace for Malice at the Palace. Jamie.
I had to ask.
Yeah.
We have time for one more quick question if anyone has one for Zach.
I think just to maybe kind of ask this a little bit different way, in some of these rural areas, where do you plan to build out the supply of these food delivery folks? Are you pulling from people who are already driving Uber, Lyft, and giving them another option of ways to earn money? I guess who is fulfilling these requests?
Yep, that's a very good question, Chloe. So we've tried doing this ourselves. We've tried poaching some drivers. It's just not super consistent. So what we ended up doing was partnering with a staffing company. Because of our markup, our service is higher than Shipt and Instacart, and we're able to afford paying drivers a little bit more and also go longer distances. So the staffing company has proved to be extremely helpful for us.
Great, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Zach and Team Stocked. And we are going to actually now transition into, no pun intended for Kayla, but we are going to take a quick break actually. So we hope that you all will please join us back here at 1:45 and or maybe a little bit earlier than that. So take about 5 to 8-ish minutes. And we are also going to play you a film actually about one of our Rural Innovation Network communities, if you'd like to watch that. This is about Marquette, Michigan, actually the home of the startup that won the pitch event the very first year. They were called KMI, and they are still in operation. They're an orbital debris satellite company. So they are rural Michiganders who launched a satellite up into space to clean up orbital debris, or what they call space junk. Super cool stuff, and we just love to see it. So y'all stick around. We'll see you soon. Enjoy this short video.
So this is my overland rig that's custom made. Sits on a flatbed truck. Top pops up. It's ready to go at any given time. I can always go camping. And the most important thing about outdoor innovation and camping is that you should never have to grab something that you don't need to get to what you do need. And so if I wanted to make coffee, we're ready to go, and we can make coffee at any given time. So if we're out fly fishing somewhere, camp is set up, ready to go.
Nestled between 83 miles of Lake Superior shoreline and the foothills of the Huron Mountains sits the remote community of Marquette. Here, outdoor recreation is a lifestyle. But while it's the largest city and business epicenter of Michigan's Upper Peninsula, being an isolated tourist community has proven to be challenging when it comes to becoming a more sustainable economic ecosystem.
People kind of have a misconception of what Marquette is. They think, oh, this is up in the middle of the UP and you don't have any power up there and all this kind of thing. But it's actually very modern. What we do for education is scales it. The innovation ecosystem we're creating right now is actually an ecosystem to draw back all the talent that has left.
Marquette County and the UP as a whole has seen a decrease in population.
If you look at how many talented people have left the UP and gone out in the world, all these well-known people are from the Upper Peninsula. They had to leave because there wasn't a system like we are creating right now.
How are people going to be able to make a regular living? How are people going to be able to survive? You know, Marquette County really needs to look at new and creative ways to support the young people within the community.
That's really what our goal is long-term, is to not only replace 20-some thousand jobs that will be lost in the mining industry and other land-based industries over the next 10 years, but to then create an ecosystem where then we can draw all that talent back.
The tech and all of those new industries being here in Marquette, the fact that we do have high-speed internet, the ability to work remotely, the fact that this really is an urban area in a very rural county makes it a really special place.
By creating an innovation ecosystem like this and creating tier 2 businesses, which are 10 to 100 employees and $10 to $1 million in revenue, that's where your real job growth is. That's where your director level jobs, that's where your C-level jobs and your management jobs are created by those companies growing in the region. We have everything here. You can come in with a napkin drawing, you can get it set up, you can prototype the product, you can get it into light assembly manufacturing, and then you can do testing right on site. You don't have to go anywhere else to do any of that. You can do it all right here locally, and that's what we're setting up that whole entire ecosystem to do. And then when you're done, you can jump on your mountain bike and cruise off in the woods for 3 hours before you go to bed. So I think it's a huge advantage for us, and we're going to leverage the heck out of it.
Through tech entrepreneurship and high-speed internet, remote workers are the answer to growing Marquette's economy. And one group in particular is leading the community in attracting a remote workforce. Innovate Marquette is creating a hub for local innovators and entrepreneurs to thrive, and a connection point for remote workers to the broader business community.
Innovate Marquette Smart Zone is actually two things. It's an incubator and accelerator. We're partnered with Inventa NMU, which is a Northern Michigan University program, which is our incubator, which takes our ideas from a napkin drawing to a business plan. And then Innovate Marquette Smart Zone takes over and takes it to scale.
Northern Michigan University has a mission that's focused on being a rural serving institution. Northern is on the supply side of talent development here in the Upper Peninsula, and so we work very closely with partners in industry. The economic development ecosystem in Marquette has really evolved over the past 5 to 10 years. It's changing to the opportunities that are present here in the Upper Peninsula for economic development, and that is traditional economy, extractive resources, service-based industries, tourism, manufacturing, to a new economy, which is digital, creative. And Innovate Marquette's going to continue to serve entrepreneurs that can develop new jobs and new businesses that consumers demand. There's a growth opportunity around tech-based entrepreneurism. It's helping entrepreneurs remove the entrepreneurial burden of their idea. There was an individual who was looking to solve the problem of real-time warnings of swimming in the Great Lakes, which could be very dangerous. And so if you think about the manual, lifeguards raising the flag to say, hey, the rip currents are dangerous at this point in time, this entrepreneur had thought there's a better way to do that through technology. And we were able to build the team to reach out to the Department of Natural Resources in Michigan, which owns a lot of our public beaches.
People don't really understand the amazing talent that's in Marquette. We want to cultivate that talent. We want to build the talent. So no matter what comes into the space, we have all the talent here to be able to take that and run with it.
I moved to Marquette about 8 years ago. I originally came here for college and stayed for the incredible nature that's all around us. It's one of my favorite things to do is just to get out and sit in nature. I do work remotely. Our company is based out of Utica, Michigan, but we're 7 hours away, so I still get the opportunity to have the awesome job I love while staying in the awesome town that I love.
Innovate Marquette is currently helping new entrepreneurs develop products that are innovative in the outdoor recreation space.
The outdoor innovation industry is actually the front end of innovation in outdoor recreation. You look at Bearapy, Sea-Doo, you look at Polaris, they're spending billions of dollars in innovation around electrifying outdoor recreation vehicles. The outdoor innovation industry is an R&D feed into automotive and bleed in, but it's also creating the products that people want to use that are attached to vehicles like Ford Transit van and F-150 Lightning and the Maverick.
You have the intersection of mobility and electrification and outdoor recreation that's happening right here in Marquette with ideas like Shop House Park.
Shop House Park is a proposed mixed-use facility that's really intended to serve everyone from the innovator to the end user. We own 3.5 acres on the north side of town in Marquette that's connected to all of the trail systems. And really the dream between Innovate Marquette Smart Zone and Shop House Park is to create the world's greatest innovation district around the creation of outdoor recreation, mobility, and technology products.
We're really poising ourselves to be the outdoor innovation hub of Michigan.
We're going to have probably the most state-of-the-art trailhead in the country. So you can charge your electric car while you go for a bike ride. Now through technology, when you can marry these rural areas with the sophistication that you find in larger cities, you really have this opportunity of living your very best life, but also creating a global impact.
I think a big reason that Marquette's economy has evolved and maintained its heritage in resource extraction, but more sustainable resource extraction and companies that are giving back to the community. Digital economy jobs like cybersecurity or art and design. It's because people want to be here. It's a magnetic place.
Despite being a small town, we have so much going on. I really can't name too many other places that I've been that has such a rich diversity in terms of the things that you're able to just go out and do.
So, how do you develop the economy of a remote community like Marquette? Attract a talented workforce with natural beauty and an incredible quality of life. And keep them here by offering high-paying, innovative jobs. And high-speed internet never hurts either.
All right. Hope that y'all enjoyed that. Found that inspiring as I do. You know, I'm a bit biased, but really appreciate those films made by South End. Awesome company. And now we are really, going to dive back into the second half of pitches this evening. So thank you all for bearing with us. Yes, links to that video, CORI YouTube page. You can find all those great videos. But now, excited to kick off our second half of our evening pitches and bring out our next entrepreneur, hailing from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, which you will actually get to watch a video about a little bit later on in this evening. But we have founder and CEO Kenesha Barnes-Adams, founder of Bearapy Bookshelf, an educator and author herself. This venture is solving a problem very near and dear to Kenesha, and I am excited for her to get to share her venture and her story with you. So Kenesha, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and take it away. And you are muted for now for when you're gonna start telling us your awesome story.
Greetings, my name is Kenesha Adams, and I am super excited to share my venture, Bearapy Bookshelf, with you, where we heal the hearts and minds through books and bears, one child at a time. I know a parent, and I know most of you do. And guess what? She wasn't a perfect parent, but she wanted to be a better parent, which most parents do. But this parent had a problem. Her child had experienced an adverse child experience. The issue is 1 in 6 children aged 18 and younger will experience an adverse child experience. 70% of those students do not receive the appropriate interventions at an early age at school or at home, and 80% of the students who have diagnosed mental disorders from trauma don't receive treatment. So we've created a solution that empowers parents, equips leaders, and engages students for emotional wellness by providing the appropriate interventions and resources to support students in pre-K through 5th grade, specifically ages 0 to 8 through stories and stuffies. What does that solution look like, you ask? Well, we create an emotional connection between representation and relevant and relatable children's books, providing resources that teach social and emotional skills to support students of diverse backgrounds. And we also have social skills sessions taught by live therapists through live stream app. We know that there is power in supportive spaces for students to develop their own personal stories. And so I want you to take a look at our app and our platform here.
Using the Bearapy Bookshelf platform is an amazing way to connect with your child. Our books are created to teach the importance of social skills. With a diverse library of books, teachers, parents, and clinical staff can choose a book that works best for their patients. In each book are emotional regulation questions that can be used to help students communicate. Consider our solution today to support the mental health and emotional well-being of our youth.
We work with over 200 self-published authors. One of the books you just saw was from an author that we worked with out of Atlanta, Georgia. Each book has emotional regulation questions that are added to the bottom of them to support families and students as they navigate their experiences. Our team is committed to the cause and will help us grow our skill and scale our efforts. I am the CEO and founder, a 10-year educator, and currently a PhD student studying education at the University of Alabama. We have a licensed practical counselor on our team who is another former educator, a project manager studying education and entrepreneurship, and also Deja Hillis, who works as our director of storytelling and curriculum, who works directly with our authors. We also have a board of teachers, counselors, community-based organizations, and students who help us choose the stories that go for our platform. Our developers are based out of India, and we are super excited to continue to build our platform out. So who are we building for? We've worked with over 65 elementary schools across the country with over 300 school counselors and impacted about 20,000 students in 2 years. In 2022, the global K-12 education technology spend marketed EdTech at a value of $8 billion, with the adoption of digital EdTech rapidly growing. So how do we think we're going to get to those individuals? Through our go-to-market strategy. We believe that an initial approach is to pilot with the local children's hospital. We will use parent ambassadors, educator ambassadors, and kid ambassadors to share their experience with the service and our product. And most importantly, we've attended events and sponsors from the healthcare and education space for educational conferences across the country. Our sales model goes through 3 ways. We have product sales, a subscription model for B2C, and B2B partnerships where we collaborate with school districts across our country. Some of our indirect competitors are Geekpack, Generation M, and Slumberkins, where our direct competitors are EdTech companies who've built social and emotional engagement resources to support schools. Our advantage, however, is that we use books that are written by self-published authors. We have a flexible live stream option for more effective implementation. We have daily parent guides and resources that parents and students and teachers can benefit from, and licensed professionals interacting in real time. You remember that parent I told you about? Well, that parent was me. It was all thanks to the right stories and the right stuffy that I was able to become a mom/auntie to a 2-year-old whose story was drastically impacted by the loss of her mother and father. But the birth of Bearapy Bookshelf was created to help support students who may experience an adverse childhood experience, like my niece, who's 5 years old and doing very well. So thank you for considering Bearapy Bookshelf. Let's create a world where every child thrives socially and emotionally. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kanisha. Let us go on over to our judges and see what questions they have for you.
Thank you. Great job. I mean, the youth mental health crisis is a huge problem. So it's awesome to see more and more solutions to it. Could you walk through a little bit of the pricing, how this all works? Like how are you generating revenue from what specific pieces, and what's kind of the order of priority of those?
So we currently have a B2C model. So we have a subscription model where we do annual subscription for parents who want to use our platform. And so they pay monthly a $4.99 subscription, and they receive access to all of our online resources, which is over 200 children's books, parent guides for every book, and then their emotional regulation questions that they can use as they are guiding their families through those books. And then we also sell our product directly to districts. And so districts pay for a license per student. And in addition to their license, they can also opt into our live streams. So they pay for as many live streams as they want. So they may want one live stream a month, or they may want 2 a month. And depending on how many they pay for, they're able to add that onto their district cost.
Thank you.
Have you thought about partnering with book publishers at all? I'm thinking about kind of expanding your reach beyond kind of independent authors, although I love the fact that you are partnering with independent authors. I'm just curious if you've thought about that at all.
Yes, we have. And we've started with some more small independent publishing companies who are kind of housing several self-published authors in their independent publishing, but no like Scholastic yet. But we have definitely thought about what it would look like if we were able to capture more children's books at a time with a publishing company as a partner.
Yeah. And do you vet each and every book that you put on your platform?
We do. So we have a team of counselors. They curate every book. So every book that is submitted to us, we do pay the rights to use them for annual subscription for us. And then we, our counselors kind of curate it, read it, make sure it fits under our CASEL domain. And then they're able to send it to our director of storytelling, who builds the parent guide and the resources for it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Got time for one more quick question if y'all have one. Otherwise,
what's the where are you at in terms of revenue today, and maybe by the end of the year or next year, what's your forecast?
Yeah, so we are currently at revenue about 230,000 in well, I guess I'll say year to date. So projected next year we have about we're doing our renewal cycles, so haven't really done my projections yet, but the majority of our districts are renewing, and so we have probably one district who will not renew, but the majority of our districts, and we work with 57 districts now, and their all contracts are different. And then our parent count is a little smaller, so we don't have as many parents as we do districts. And so I really don't have as far as my projections as to
that's great traction.
Yeah, where we are, where we're headed for next year.
Thank you, Kenesha.
Awesome. Indeed. Thank you so much, Kenesha. We are going to move along to our next startup. So next up, we are going to be bringing out Darren Mark, founder of humNET, based in Windham County, Vermont. A serial entrepreneur. Darren shared a story with us about the time that he saw Mark Cuban getting out of a limo, and he was able to pitch to him really quickly and ended up getting an invite to Shark Tank for a previous venture, but didn't end up going on Shark Tank, which, you know, maybe a wise call given some of those deals. But anyhow, here to tell you more about his current venture, please welcome Darren pitching humNET. Darren, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let me just share my screen. Okay. Hey everyone, I'm Darren. I'm the founder of humNET. And there we go. What if I told you that loneliness is the biggest, most insidious epidemic since humans launched the internet? The world is rapidly becoming more interconnected through data, social media, devices, and communications. Yet it seems that mental health statistics are pointing toward a massive loss of feeling connected, leading to significant personal health issues and a tremendous fundamental loss of workforce productivity. Heart disease, diabetes, infectious diseases, depression, not to mention substance use disorder and the fragmenting of society. I was doing research over the weekend. There's a chronic pain forum on Reddit. I wasn't planning to engage. I don't have chronic pain, although I'm often told I am a chronic pain, but that's not the same. Seriously though, this post caught my eye, and I know I can't stop this person's pain, but can I make them feel a little less alone? So even though we're really in stealth mode, I invited them to a 10-minute hum. That's what we call the events, hums. And they accepted. And then I waited 5 long minutes before they joined a 10-minute hum. But then that number changed from 1 to 2 and I knew they were there. And she liked it. And I asked if she'd be willing to do more hums, and she said yes. And she's got user feedback suggestions. So what if there was a way to take the same internet architecture that siloed and segregated and sickened us and use it to create a human connection network? What if we brought that Google Analytics behind the scenes map out of the shadows, all of that tech that marketers and advertisers use to sell us more stuff, and built a platform for connecting around shared needs or struggles, commitments or causes? What if instead of just sending thoughts and prayers, you could share a few minutes focused on the same thought and prayer in real time? Well, that's what we're building, an infinitely scalable empathy stream. On humNET, you can see who in the world is there with you, thinking that thought, sharing that feeling at the same time. As I said, we call the events hums. It's just a few minutes where you focus on a few words at the same time as others. There are private hums and public hums, even always open hums. So whether a loved one is struggling, or you're in recovery and can't make a meeting, or there's a global hum to connect for a few minutes of unity around a common cause. And what do you do in a hum? You focus on the words. You hear a soothing harmonic hum chord. There's a haptic vibration to help you feel more connected. And there's an after hum screen for acknowledgements, calls to action, resources, and down the road sponsorships. So I'm excited to tell you we have a live MVP in stealth mode on both app stores. It's a compelling proof of concept with really strong qualitative and quantitative feedback in our user testing. The Figma prototype for what we're working on is gorgeous. The demand is validating, and our not being ready for it is truly heartbreaking. We've turned down requests by the MRC to do professional grief hums for the Maui firefighters, as well as a 100-person memorial hum for a friend's husband. The list goes on. Our plan is to leverage built-in network effects to scale by focusing our marketing spend on key partnerships. We won't target individual users, but rather aligned communities, organizations, and influencers. But once we have those participants, we'll gently suggest other hums, we'll nudge and nurture participants to become organizers. As a hybrid, we see multiple revenue possibilities. Free for individuals to join with in-app purchases, subscription packages for organizations, fees from fundraising and donations, niche ads and sponsorships, even revenue sharing with hum creators that offer specialized hums for their communities. We'll need smarter people than me to figure out how to get there. But the truly successful social networks typically take 3 to 4 years to get to 15 million users. In the words of the Patent Office, our approach is unique and non-obvious. It's scalable, visceral, safe, there when you need it, not to mention, it's instantly calming and comforting. In addition to the team listed, I've been incredibly blessed with amazing mentors from the Brick Actuator, and I'm tapped into this incredible resource through startups.com with dozens of advisors and subject matter experts. I couldn't have gotten here without the deep support and knowledge of that community. Sometimes referred to as the backlog, we're really at the beginning of building and discovering what humNET can be. I'm up against the old adage, fast, cheap, or good. You can't have all three. And I've been doing this on the cheap, but it's time to pick up the pace because there's a tremendous need. We're seeking $250,000 to scale up our development team with full-time developers and start doing more aggressive community outreach and marketing. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Darren. As you all probably can suspect, we're going to move on to our judges and see what questions they have for Darren.
Thank you, Darren, for this. I appreciate it as someone who's interested in exploring different vectors of consciousness. This seems like a pretty interesting one. I'm curious why you personally, like decided to do this, right? I get the loneliness epidemic, but I have the hunch that you have a more personal reason for this. Can you talk more about your motivation?
Well, I've really been working on the problem from like the sort of abstract tragedy of the commons approach. I've been thinking about it for 30 years. Like, how do you just get people to feel more connected at the same time? But also, as my previous job as the creative director at Tree Free Greetings, we started doing empathy research and just was overwhelmed by the things we discovered. You know, we spoke to asked questions of thousands of people, and what we heard time after time was just people wanted to be acknowledged. And, you know, that really the idea of, can we create a virtuous cycle where when people are acknowledged, they feel better about themselves, they're more inclined to show up for others. Showing up for others gives you a greater sense of purpose, which reinforces your sense of well-being. So that's really the vision.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions, Alex? Looked like you were gonna maybe say something.
Yeah, sorry, I was curious if the hums, you imagine them being sort of programmed or freeform, and will they be moderated? How do you think about some of those topics?
Yeah, it's a great question. Anyone can create a hum. If we had more than the 5 minutes, I would love to show everyone what the sort of hum creation process is from the organizer perspective. So you create the name of the hum, the focus words, the intention behind the hum, the post-hum words. And I do see us having hosted content, or, you know, have content creators, subject matter experts around grief or empathy or other realms, have organization, you know, pages where they might have available hums that other people can then use and set up for their own needs as well. And as for moderation, it's really, my initial vision was that there would never be chat. But as we realize, as we hear back from people, and I listen to what I'm saying, that we're building a way for people to more deeply connect, we would kind of be jerks if we weren't offering the ability for people to message in some way. But it will have to be moderated, because we do want these to be safe spaces. And some of the hums will be private and some will be public. So if it's a private hum for your family, obviously, hopefully, you know, Aunt Mary doesn't need to be moderated.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Darren, and judges and all. We're gonna keep it moving on to our next startup. I am excited to introduce you all to Uchenna Onyechum, founder of Health for Mankind from Waterville, Maine. And in addition to being a medical doctor and a physician, Uchenna is also a wine connoisseur, so something of a Renaissance man, if you will. And with that, to tell you more about his venture tonight, please welcome to the stage Uchenna. Uchenna, you can go ahead and take it away.
Oh, great. Thank you so much for the introduction. And as you know, as you can all see on my background, it's World Diabetes Month, so a day, and we celebrated the day yesterday, and National Diabetes Month is started in November 1. So Health for Mankind, hold on, let's see. Okay, transition. Sorry, a bit technical. You know what? Health for Mankind is a digital health company. So we built a platform to help minorities and underserved population manage diabetes in a very personalized and cost-efficient way. The problem of diabetes is that 77% of African Americans will develop diabetes in their lifetime. And 66% of Hispanics will also develop diabetes compared to 13% non-Hispanic whites. So due to the disparities in diabetes, in fact, every 3.5 minutes, a limb is amputated due to diabetes. And the problem is 4 times more among African Americans. And this is unique due to the unique challenges African Americans and Hispanics face accessing care, which ranges from lack of access to quality care, socioeconomic challenges, and cultural and dietary factors. So that is why we built Diabemetrics. It is an app and leverages the machine learning to help minorities and underserved population manage diabetes in a very personalized way. So I'll just show a little bit of the app, then I'll continue to move forward. So I'll move with that. I'll just move to the next slide that shows more of the functionalities of the app at the back end. So typically the algorithm, it's proprietary to us, is able to predict variations in glucose level and also identify individuals at high risk so that they can seek earlier intervention. So this is our team, but combined is 75 years between the top management of the company and our advisors. We have machine learning expert, data scientists working to make this project possible. And the market size. So the market size for diabetes in the US is over 400 billion. But our market segment specifically is about 115 billion. And we believe our serviceable, obtainable market is about $2 billion. Our business model, revenue from the mobile app, which you just saw, and the hardware, which is the dongle that you attach to the phone, and also the test strips. And we also have the monthly subscription of $35 a month, and that goes with that. So our competitive analysis is while our competitors are using a generic model, ours is mainly personalized and is not a one size fit all. So I will bring down our revenue projection. Next year, we are in to do $2.2 million based on 8,142 subscribers. And within 5 years, our revenue should grow to $75 million. I'm going to plug in this. Yes, we're looking for funding to give us some more runway. And we want to validate the algorithm in Holyoke, Massachusetts. Holyoke has the largest amount of Puerto Rican Americans and a very high incidence of diabetes. And with that validation, then that will also give us not only credibility, but help us move our product forward. So these are some of the quotes from the customers, the early adopters. We had about 30 adopters initially, and this was some of the quotes from each and every one of them. Then I just want to say that Diabemetrics will usher in a new era of diabetes management. And as we celebrate World Diabetes Day and National Diabetes Awareness Month, I ask you all to reach out to someone you know that is diabetic and give them the necessary support. And if you're also at certain age level, 45 and above, it will make a lot of sense for you to tests and get it tested for your A1C and make sure that, because over 100 million individuals in the US are pre-diabetic. So it's very, very important. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I will stop and take questions.
Brilliant. Thank you.
And sorry for the technical problem. And yeah, I just don't understand, but hey, things happen.
No worries. We get it. But we will go ahead and see what the judges have for us now and what kind of questions they would like to shoot your way. So judges, over to you all.
Yeah, thanks so much, Uchenna. You did a really, really nice job. I'm curious, how does diabetes management change for patients once this app is in their hands? I'm just curious how or what it may unlock that really demonstrates the value. And also, if you could talk a little bit more about how the app interacts with either the blood glucose monitor or the testing strips, that would be really great.
Sure, great. And so first of all, with this in the hands of the patient, they are able to, individuals with diabetes, we provide remote patient monitoring and personalized care using individuals within their communities that will understand cultural preferences and which they would not get from a major health center or even from their doctor. I will tell you a very short story of someone went into the doctor and they were recommended not to eat pizza or pasta, which is not really what they eat. And they ended up eating their local food, and that led to a very high spike in glucose level. Regarding the interaction, the dongle you attach to your phone, the app, then you use a test strip and plug it in, drop a blood of, just a small sample of blood, and the data syncs here, and you can share that data with family or your doctor. So for those that are in remote rural areas like Waterville, Maine, or Maine has a lot of rural communities, this will be a game changer for them, because we will mail this out and in a box like this to them every 3 months. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Uchenna, I love what you're doing, and I see the size and severity of the challenge here, and appreciate that you're approaching it. I'm curious if, do you have to do the dongle and test strips, or could you build your platform based on data that users could export from other existing testing equipment or continuous glucose monitors?
Sure. First of all, yes, we had to, because cost is very important. When we talk about cost, the minorities face a lot of cost challenges. The CGMs are quite still expensive, and a lot of insurance that cover it. Some people don't have very good insurance. This is $25. The test strip is $15. Then, but the data also, the algorithm will use the patient's data and begin to predict that variations in glucose level. And though we train the model using data specific to minorities because of the whole algorithm bias, but it is important that we're able to collect that information and have individuals use that. Yeah.
Got it. So the data you're doing your own algorithms. You're building your own.
Yes, absolutely.
From data based on. Okay, great.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Uchenna and judges. We are going to keep it moving. Appreciate that focus and the variety of industries we're getting into this evening. So up next, we are going to move on over to Wisconsin. Please welcome Nicole Sadow, founder of Altruize, based in Platteville, Wisconsin. Nicole is a true competitor through and through, and actually used to be a championship bodybuilder. So here to share with us about her pivot from bodybuilding to tech startup founding, please put your hands together for Nicole. Nicole and Altruize, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you so much. Let's see here. Sorry about that. All right, first of all, I gotta say, go rule. This has been like the coolest thing ever, so yes. All right. So I'm Nicole, founder of Altruize, a volunteer data management platform. Volunteer data has power. It has the power to oh, there we go. Sorry. It has the power to graduate you from high school, to gain financial assistance, to get accepted into a dream college, to even land you a job. And yet, with all this power, volunteer data isn't standardized, and it's rarely third-party verified. Still, organizations are using unverified, incomplete volunteer data to make these life-altering decisions that affect millions. The problem is that the tools to administer these programs haven't kept up with everyone's needs. It's a hodgepodge of pieces of paper that are often lost or falsified, outdated digital solutions that are only specific to an organization and aren't third-party verified. It has become a frustrating process for the volunteer and a tedious task for the administrators. So it's now costing a lot and wasted time and money. What if we focus on capturing a complete data set where all the stakeholders can benefit and be involved in the compliance process? My time at UW-Madison as an oncology researcher is where I developed my passion for accurate data. And as a mom, the college admissions scandal brought up issues of fairness in the admissions process, so I knew it was time to standardize volunteer data. So that's what we're doing. Altruize is a unique data management platform that is volunteer-driven, creating the first centralized database with verified volunteer activities, enabling the data to be accessed by all stakeholders for seamless recording, verifying, and reporting. Okay, so we're doing great things, but how do we pay the bills? Well, through these premium reports. So revenue is generated through B2B subscriptions for premium reports based on the size of the school. The school has a paid subscription to link to their students' Altruize accounts. This eliminates their paperwork and allows the school to run a variety of volunteer activity reports on a number of different data points, not just the hours. The volunteer and the verifying organization have access to their data for free. So again, it's the organization that's requiring volunteerism from their members that is the paying customer. So our competitors focus just on organizations. Our competitive advantage is that we understand the role that volunteering has in the volunteer's life. So this is a traveling digital portfolio that they can use for a lifetime and keep adding to it. It can take them from high school graduation to college admission, to sorority requirements, to resume building, to getting that job with paid time off to volunteer. And if they've had one too many parking tickets, yeah, this data point can keep you out of jail. So through expanding into the judicial market with court-ordered community service and corporations so that they can prove they have a great company culture, not just talk about it. That's 77 million volunteers who can add to this database, which leads to a huge market opportunity and our exit strategy. This will create the first volunteer objective database with multiple data points. So I've had 2 previous startups in this space, and that's where I discovered that volunteer data has great power, but it has little oversight. And we were scheduled to launch right when COVID hit. And so as a non-dev founder, that was pretty tough. But that has changed now that we've got Dave, our co-founding member, just a few months ago. He's got 30 years of developing experience and took our flimsy MVP, because it wasn't MVP after all, to ready for the masses in just a few months. And we already have 2 paying customers. Woot woot. So we are actually seeking champions to help us get connected with individuals to validate our concept within our 3 potential vertices, so that we can ask for funding in the near future. So if Altruize is blessed to earn your support here today, those funds would lengthen our runway and also help us connect and go to the National Association of Independent Schools Conference in February and the Certified Women-Owned Business Conference in March in Denver. As Kyla said, it's all about the networking. So that's the point we're at right now. And I will end with this thought. Elon Musk is spending billions to ensure that we have and maintain the human consciousness. It will not be worth a penny if it doesn't have an altruistic heart. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll take your questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Nicole. Curious to hear what questions our judges will have. Over to
Yeah,
you.
thank you, Nicole. I was curious, you're going after targeting the education market first, it seems like. Could you talk about maybe perhaps why you chose that as opposed to prioritizing that over the corporate or perhaps the judicial one, just given sort of complexity of, you know, reaching that market as a customer?
Yep. So the judicial is a tough one because they're government. They're just a tough nut to crack. So that one we decided to wait on. The other market though, that's a required market. The other one would be the education. So the majority of private schools require volunteer hours for graduation purposes. More and more states are following in line with that as well as far as their public education system. So we felt that was a good path because it's mandated. They have to do it in order to advance through that organization.
Got it. Makes sense. And do you think this is a way also that organizations can help increase their volunteering rates? They have this now bi-directional relationship with, you know, people who have volunteered, you know, historically and up-to-date information, database, whatnot.
Absolutely. So that's one of the things that we're really proud of because we will help those smaller nonprofits that can't afford anything as far as like a volunteer management platform, because we're not here to replace a volunteer management platform. We're here to augment the experience for the volunteer, which in turn gives that extra potential to the nonprofits. But with that, those nonprofits will get the benefit of seeing the impact that those volunteers are having in their own organization volunteering and be able to use that data to write grants, to get more funding and keep their mission going too. So we really are a win-win-win.
Awesome. We have time for one more quick question. The judges have any?
Did you say your average contract value or how you're charging, what the business model is for your customers?
So the business model is the organization that's requiring the volunteerism. So we're just kind of getting that mapped out. We've got kind of introductory prices, we'll call it, to get started. But it is going to be a SaaS model of yearly subscription for those organizations, and it will be based on how many members they have in that organization. So again, depending on the school size, depending on the size of the corporation, for the payment model.
Thanks, Nicole. Great
Yep.
pitch.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yes, thank you so much, Nicole, and thank you, judges. And we are now moving on to our next and our last startup for the evening. We've already made it there, if you can believe it. So last to take the stage, please welcome Jack Oppenheim, founder of Toe Ninja from the Shenandoah Valley, Virginia. In addition to being a full-time founder, Jack is also currently pursuing his master's in product innovation from VCU. So no pressure, Jack, but we're expecting plenty of innovation here. So here to share, please welcome the founder of Toe Ninja, Jack Oppenheim. Jack, go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Thank you for the introduction. Let me go ahead and pull my screen up here. Oh, can y'all see that? Should be on my pitch deck. Can you see my pitch deck?
Not yet.
Uh-oh. Hold on, let me stop sharing.
Oh, now we can.
Oh, back to it. Hold on. Sorry. Luckily, I'm the last one to get the technical difficulties. So, all right, should be sharing now.
Perfect.
You're good.
Perfect. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Jack Oppenheim. I'm the founder and CEO of Toe Ninja, and today I'm just gonna get right into it. Towing sucks. I know firsthand how hard it is to find your car once you're out and you're expecting to go home and your car isn't where you left it. You're sent, full of emotions, anger, curiosity, where's my ride? And I know this firsthand because I myself was towed while out on a date. And what was a great night ended up quickly becoming one of the most embarrassing times of my life. And, I thought to myself, there has to be a better way to find my car. This is just horrible. And so I started researching into the space of impound towing. And I found that for vehicle owners, obviously there's a plethora of different issues. Rules are ambiguous. You never know what the rules are for each street. You can't stop a tow once it's in progress. You never know who took your car. And even when you find it, you might go to one tow company and their pricing is one way, and you go to another and it's completely different. So there's no transparency in the market. But what's interesting is when I dug deeper into the problem, I found out that the towing industry hasn't had an innovation since the invention of the automobile itself. These companies are still using pen and paper to track and monitor their entire business's operations. And so the lack of automation leads to upset customers and expensive insurance premiums. And even if they're the few management softwares are too expensive for these small businesses to really grow. And so that is why I'm proud to introduce to you today Tow Ninja. We are a two-sided marketplace designed to connect vehicle owners and tow truck companies. And we're the first ever solution built on the principles of transparency and equitability for all of the stakeholders in automobile towing. So for tow companies, we quickly realized that we have to solve all of their issues before we can even consider helping the vehicle owners. And so we did that by completely redesigning the way they run their business. We've automated the entire process for reporting and monitoring towed vehicles in their jurisdictions, as well as their employees and their accounting. We're a complete payment processing system, which allows these tow company owners to run their business from at home, on the road, or even on vacation. And even for the drivers themselves, we've made the process as easy as 1, 2, 3. So while they're trying to hook up the car, take notes on transfer paper, file it in their cabinet, with Tow Ninja, you simply input the license plate, state, and VIN, and we do the rest. But what makes Tow Ninja truly unique is what we do for you, the vehicle owner. So when your car is towed with our freemium model, all you have to do is search your license plate and state, and we'll tell you exactly who took your car, how much it's going to cost to get back, and even allow you to help facilitate that process, so you never even actually have to talk to the tow company themselves. But what our members are most excited about is our Drop Now feature, where we can prevent your car from being towed in the first place. So instead of being towed because you're parked illegally, we simply charge you half the tow price, but give you 5 minutes to get up and move your car before you're towed away. And thus, we're really proud to say that we can help our members never be towed again. So we do have competition in this space. There's a company called Towbook, obviously the traditional method, and as well as AAA and some of these much larger companies. But they can't compete with us on all these different levels. So because of our size, we're able to focus in on the problem space of just impound towing. And first thing we do is we compete on price. We charge only 2% of gross revenue for using our services, which is already 10% cheaper than what any of the other competition has. We automate the entire process, focus on the user experience for all of our stakeholders, our payment processing system, and have in-person customer service, which has proven to be our biggest value proposition to these tow companies as we've expanded into new cities. So the towing industry, you might be wondering, how big is that industry after all? I may have never been towed. Well, it's huge. It's on average brings in $9.5 billion in annual gross revenue. And we believe that 10% of that is serviceable to us. User convenience, risk reduction, and workflow optimization can benefit a majority of these companies in this industry. And specifically for us, we're focusing around urban and rural city, like college towns, and where there's a lot of young students, young adults, really moving and driving around a lot. And so our traction thus far, we've launched our MVP in April, testing it with tow companies in our initial target market. And we actually in October launched our payment processing feature, and with a single tow company generated $14,000 in revenue. During that time, we've also acquired a wait list of 10 companies in 3 additional markets, which we are hoping to onboard very soon for our beta project as we grow and expand and really test before we can start scaling across the entire state. We also received a pre-revenue valuation of $2.5 million from James Madison University, as well as other investors since launching our MVP. So going into 24, we expect a $25,000 cash burn as we grow and test our product into these new beta markets. But once we develop 4 very specific features, we can actually grow and scale this business sustainably to not only our entire waitlist, but across the entire state. We've found that with our tow companies, our product is so easy for these tow companies to use. We can onboard a whole new tow company with all of their employees and train them in less than an hour. And we have them on the road changing their business and their operations almost immediately. And so by expect to be cash flow positive and starting to implement our subscription revenue and development into the third quarter of 2024. And so we're raising $100,000 safe for $3.5 million, or excuse me, with $3.5 million valuation to complete the development of 4 key features, as well as a founder stipends, additional sales team to help us expand. And doing so, we'll reach break even, launch our pro membership subscriptions, and have over 100,000 month revenues by quarter 3. So with that, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Great. Thank you so much, Jack. And let us go on and see, of course, what our friends in the judging panel have to say for you, what questions they have. So judges, take it away for questions for Jack.
Jack, nice job. How have you been approaching tow operators, and what has been your sell to incentivize them to come onto the platform? And then my second question to follow on to that is, you mentioned that you have 10 companies who are kind of waiting to be onboarded. I guess how does that turning on the switch work for onboarding those 10 companies, or what's kind of the lift necessary? Is it just the employee training, or what all has to happen in order for those companies to come online?
Yep. Well, to answer your first question, the way we got to the marketing to the tow companies, I actually showed up with a box of donuts and just kept coming. Because I was a college student at the time, they were like, "What do you know about my business? I've been doing this for 50 years. And just persistence won them over. And really, it's just been talking to them, and our value prop to them is that we're a small startup in their area, and they get to talk to a person. When they call AAA or anybody they're currently using, they get sent on a wait list or whatever, and they wait 45 minutes. With us, it's immediate. We have our problem solved in less than 12 hours, and we're developing products. To answer your question, as far as our wait list, we've been doing this really lean. I'm actually a non-technical founder. I'm a history major in my undergrad, so this has completely changed my career path. And so we've been doing everything cheap, lean, get it up there, testing the MVP. And those 4 features I was talking about was integrating some Stripe backend things to help us manage the money. Everything's kind of Wizard of Oz at the moment. But once we plug those things in, it's just 10 hours, myself and my co-founder grinding it out, going to these tow companies and showing them how to use it and letting them loose.
Thanks.
Yep, thank you.
I love the idea of like vertical SaaS for kind of not sexy markets like towing companies. That's awesome. But like, why focus on the consumer? Why not just go do all that? Like, let's just help every towing company around the country just run their business better. Like, I feel like the consumer is kind of brought into the product in a moment of anger. Like, why not focus on the SaaS side?
Well, we hope to just help with all the stakeholders, because a lot of times, that's what I'm learning in school, like empathy mapping, understanding, pain points like that. And some of these pain points we can alleviate for the vehicle owners, also translates to feasible and tangible benefits for the tow companies themselves. And so that's a really big thing. Like our drop now, that's super popular, and where you only pay half the tow price. Well, these tow companies are coming in there and they're saying, originally they're like, "Oh, well, you're cutting our revenue in half." But then they take a look and they're like, "Oh, you're actually doubling our revenue, because we don't have to take a car, take it all the way back to our lot, drop it back, come back. We can identify 5 or 6 cars parked illegally immediately. And that's $600 instead of, $200 for one car. But also financially, focusing on the vehicle owners is going to be our business model going forward. Our subscription revenue is going to dwarf the amount of money we make from our freemium model. So with our subscription revenue, we'll be generating $10 a month from every single vehicle owner who has a subscription. And we're working in these college towns with parking services and anywhere that really deals with parking to kind of license this service for their students as a value prop that the universities can provide to their students as well.
Got it. Thanks.
Great. All right. Thank you so much, Jack. Fantastic. And as mentioned, that was our last startup. So we are moving on to a little bit of a break for judges to have some deliberation time and totaling and looking at our scores. And then when we return, we will be able to announce the winner of this evening's pitch event and the $10,000 cash prize. And we do have some more short films queued up for you all, so you can enjoy these and learn more about our work. And again, one of the communities that belong to our Rural Innovation Network and Kenesha's home, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. And then a few more just quick clips about some of the specific work we do. So enjoy this, and we will be back very, very shortly with the big news.
Situated above the Arkansas River is an historic trade center for Arkansas, Pine Bluff. The city experienced rapid growth for much of the 20th century as industry thrived, becoming a hub of culture and quality of life. But times change. Automation and globalization shook the proud city's economic base, eliminating jobs that had sustained the community. As a result, Pine Bluff has seen a steep and steady population decline since 2000. Today, however, the community is ready and fighting for revitalization. And the talented, resilient people of Pine Bluff are committed to achieving economic renewal for their city.
We're focused on building people. We're developing more programs that focus on the prosperity of people. Our conditions need improving. It is the people, if we build them, they will help improve the environment. We have issues here in our community that technology can solve. Go For Pine is a nonprofit, and we were born out of, I think, necessity. The economic conditions, as well as just the social and quality of life piece in Pine Bluff was kind of on a downhill. And citizens came together to produce a plan. We were able to generate where we are today, called the generator. That's one of our most important economic initiatives that will yield some tech improvement, infuse tech into the community.
The ultimate goal of the generator is to stimulate the economy by fostering a robust entrepreneurship community. There's not a big tech market here in Pine Bluff. Where the generator would come in is to provide a basis for learning in the digital space, preparing people to be tech savvy that will help people be able to compete into the global job market.
Because we have a 2-year and a 4-year institution, that gives us an opportunity. The key is transitioning individuals from graduating with those 2- and 4-year degrees, empowering them to become entrepreneurs. Understand that they have the basic skill sets to start a business, and then therefore the economy will continue to turn over.
The generator is an exciting step toward a tech-based ecosystem in Pine Bluff. Through its mission to generate economic growth through programs, partnerships, and technology, the generator empowers the makers, dreamers, and doers that will create a thriving and inclusive Pine Bluff economy, providing space, tools, and supports that encourage innovation and entrepreneurship.
Inspiration has to happen from one's interests. If we educate students, young people in tech, you're, I think, taking students behind the scenes of what is on the front end of their video games or their phones. And you're showing them it's not that hard. If we can show you how to develop a video game like the one you always want to play, I'm capitalizing on your area of interest to educate you and inspire you. Gap that'll be bridged, economic development, financial literacy with the interests of the youth.
We're trying to educate young people at an early age on how to solve problems in using their tech resources.
I am Letitia Brunson, currently the Human Resources Director here at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Tech is everything. Everything is based around technology. It's important that people understand the movement behind technology and what that does for the economy. Once people have that foundation, they can do whatever they want to do, wherever they want to do, whenever they want to do it. So it's important that we are providing that foundation and background for our students and for our community so they can take that knowledge and be successful and be great wherever they go.
Come on. Well, we know that the young people are the wave of our future, and we have to prepare them for that future. Some of them have not even a vision of what they're going to do in life. When they get connected to the proper technological resources that are out there, they can see where they fit in.
My name is Lottie Jones, and I am an engineer at Southwest Power Pool. Little Rock, born and raised, and then I moved to Pine Bluff, doing the different STEM events in high school and kind of being exposed to what engineering even is. And so when I came to college, I actually wanted to be a doctor. But then I met someone who was an engineer and she became my mentor. And after kind of touring the ULR campus with her, I was able to say, okay, I like math, I can do this. So I switched from, pre-med to doing engineering, and I was able to obtain a degree and then work in the engineering field. One of the key things for remote tech jobs in Pine Bluff is having more young people to come here and with that freedom to say, okay, I can live here, having tech-based jobs here, and then having locations like this that actually look good. I can look out the window and see, the city.
Resources are here, talent is here. And here at the Generator, we're working on bridging the gap and making those relationships solidified.
I think hope is very important because kids have to dream. They have to have a vision so that they can have those aspirations of where they're going, what they want to be when they grow up.
Renewal looks different for every community. For some, it's fast-paced tech startups and high-speed fiber broadband. And while Pine Bluff is on its way to having those essential tools for 21st century economic development, their renewal has begun with hope. And you can see that small flame beginning to burn brighter. Because when hope is fueled by empowerment, grit, and resilience, innovation can happen anywhere, especially on a bluff above the Arkansas River.
I believe the judges are still deliberating. Are we going to go to another film?
The startup ecosystem is a community working together, and there's a lot of organizations that are, really pushing the front of that to make it happen. So capital investment for a tech startup in early stages is pretty crucial. I mean, it helps get, some of the tools and manufacturing capability that you need pretty early on.
Investors are critical to startups and tech companies in particular because they usually can't get a loan. With tech startups, they don't have a product that can be used as collateral. They've got an idea. And so basically, if you can't get a loan, how can you build on that idea? How can you prove it's viable? And so investors really come into play because they're buying into this idea that, yes, I think this can be an awesome product, unique service, great company, and then they hopefully get a return.
Having investment is huge.
Before we had our initial seed investment, there was great work being done, but there was a lot of work being done just to maintain what we had. It was harder to take risks, not knowing what next month would look like. It's the risk that allows us to make big moves. A lot of people thought about small towns as lacking the opportunity and the skill sets to produce great tech startups. We've seen a drastic change in that in the last 5 years.
Encouraging technology in our community is helping to shape a new wave of entrepreneurs, if you will. I think entrepreneurs are super valuable in terms of being able to be more resilient. So the more people we have here in our community doing a diversity of things will mean that we can withstand more ups and downs in the economy. We're not going to be reliant on just one industry or one major employer. And I think that's critical in these rural communities because we need that diversity to be stronger.
Being able to go into an intensive program and learn from mentors that have been there, done that, they ask you the right questions, they kind of help you hone in on what the next product might be or the next model might be, is huge to the ecosystem here. You know, as a CEO, I always have a product in mind. And so having someone bounce those ideas with me and help me hone in on what the next product should be and the next investment should be was really where I needed that help.
We're bringing people with ideas together. We're helping them get those ideas off the ground and then translating that into new businesses in our community.
Tech platforms, tech companies like ours can bring in high-paying jobs that have a very low footprint. You know, they're not endangering the environment, but they're creating opportunities that we can bring in high-paying jobs and raise the entire community together. People wonder, you know, this war on talent, you know, how hard is it to get tech talent? I said, you know, we haven't actually had a problem hiring. We've received so many qualified resumes for so few jobs.
When I was in high school, coding and being able to work digitally was the first time that I realized that was a path possible for myself. When I realized that I could use technology and make stuff that I could do as a job, and I could make money my own way, it was incredibly empowering. And so a huge motivator for me getting involved with this is that's the type of empowerment, that's the type of choice that I think is really valuable to open up to people, especially kids that are growing up in rural areas where it can feel hard to get there. It opens up possibilities.
By demonstrating excitement and positivity and innovation and creativity, just showing through example. This is what it can look like to have a healthy, thriving ecosystem, and then hope that hand in hand we figure out ways that kind of like melds into the community and the community melds into this. It's really exciting to look at how we can be really intentional about being responsible with the culture that we're creating in a way that hopefully encourages improvement all around us.
These days, we have a real divide between urban and rural. There's a technology divide and there's a philosophical divide, or at least a perceived divide. And I think it's really important to create a bridge to bring those two sides together. We don't want to just import a bunch of high-wage software engineers and say, hey, we're this great community now. We got a bunch of wealthy people and we've elevated, you know, median household income significantly. If we aren't working with the farm workers who live in town and the lower income folks who live in town, getting them skills, getting them opportunities to take these higher wage jobs, to engage in the tech economy, then we're really failing as a community. We are revitalizing our community, but it needs to work for everybody.
I've spent my whole professional life studying the Maine's economy and trying to find out what we can do to make it better, to solve those problems and to have value-added products and services that we can compete with in the global economy. It takes education and the use of technology. Education plays a much bigger role in what the future is and makes it really important that all of our people have access to that.
Part of what we need to do is find a way to help train people so that they can find something new, not just to bring vibrancy and prosperity to this city, but to show people across the country that this can be done in small communities.
So we have an adult coding program where we basically in 20 weeks can take someone from no prior knowledge to entry-level skills as a developer. And we use professional software developers to run those courses. What we're trying to do is to bring together those resources and spaces that people can do very interesting things from towns like this.
So clearly the deliberation is ongoing, and we have some tough decisions that folks are being asked to make as the judges. I am delighted to not be involved because these were some extraordinary pitches that were happening from innovators from across the Rural Innovation Network. I do want to say again how delighted we are to have the folks who are supporting this. Venable, the law firm, as well as individuals who are LPs in the CORI Innovation Fund, who have seen it through to understand the importance of supporting earlier stage companies that are coming up through the network, as well as Merit and Merit. That has graciously offered again to provide pro bono legal services that we learned from the folks at Transition made a huge difference in being able to understand the kind of legal documentation and other things to make partnerships happen that can allow companies to move forward. So we're really grateful for that support to allow us to have a cash award as well as support for the winning entrepreneur. What we also have is some great judges, as you can imagine, who are deeply steeped in this work all across the country and working with early stage tech companies. And they have no easy job here, going through and trying to evaluate which of these companies is ready for that next stage. And the good news is that even though there's going to be one winner selected, there is the support of the folks on the ground in each of these rural communities that are part of the Rural Innovation Network to help all of these founders continue on that journey. Here at the Center on Rural Innovation, we are committed to making sure that they have the support that they need to be able to keep moving forward, to be able to hire tech talent locally in their communities, and to be able to grow rural economies all across the country. In other news, and I think we still have a few folks to wait for. In case people haven't heard, the Build to Scale grant program, which is one of the marquee grant opportunities from the Economic Development Administration, the grantees were announced last week. And we were so excited that 3 of the Rural Innovation Network communities were recipients of those grants. And between the grants themselves and the match that came along with it, it meant another $6.5 million going to rural communities to be able to support their tech accelerators. And it ranged from Arizona to Michigan to the northeast corner of Vermont up near the Canadian border. And so that was it was great news, and we are super excited about the support. So it is another indication of the momentum that we have in rural America right now. We're getting started to put together the cohort that will be considering applying for funding in the next Build to Scale round. For those of you who have been through that, process, it is not for the faint of heart, but it really allows the teams to be able to zero in and focus their attention on the strategy and making sure that they have a compelling grant application. And so we're excited to work with that next cohort of communities, continue to bring those resources to ecosystem builders in rural places, and invite more communities to the Rural Innovation Network.
All right, I am excited to share that I am back and I have a winner ready to be announced. So, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll please, but it's just very, very exciting to say that the winner is dun, 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 Bearapy Bookshelf, Kanisha. Oh yeah, you won this. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I'm gonna cry. Oh my god.
I can tell that you, yes. You want to say anything?
Yeah, can my niece say something too? Say hi. Say we're happy. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you for doing what you do. We're really just, everyone was so moved by the pitch. And honestly, we were in our deliberation room a bit longer than usual because every single pitch was fantastic. It was a very tough decision. I know that sounds like we say it all the time, but we really did go back and lots of conversations about all of the amazing pitches and startups that we saw here tonight. And like I said as well, while we have a winner that's taking home $10,000, we also have so many other resources, connections, introductions, hopefully value that we can provide everyone who participated here tonight. All of the 10 startups are changing the narrative of what's possible in rural America and for tech as an industry on the whole. So we just want to thank everybody for joining us and ultimately for just bringing your best here and proving that this is possible in rural America. We also would be remiss not to thank our sponsors again, the rural, really making rural tech entrepreneurship and the prize possible. So shout out and thank you to Venable, to Robert Jeanette Delves, to Nick Greenfield, and Colin and Tiffany Polidor. And please, for all of you on the line, stay in touch. Sign up for our newsletter if you want to support the startups you saw. You can also join our mentor network to more directly support them. We'll send you a follow-up email with all sorts of information about what you saw here tonight, how to share out more information about them, how to make connections for them. Because what we hope is, again, that this event can be really a value add for every startup that pitched here, and that you all can walk away knowing that, you know, this was really, really possible. We appreciate you for coming out. Huge thank you again to all of the innovative founders. And like I mentioned, I hope that you all can leave this event knowing that there are these amazing, really strong rural tech startups all across the country, and you know a handful of them by name now. So these folks and so many more like them prove that it doesn't take a big city to have some massive innovation. It can happen anywhere, and some of the best and biggest ideas come from small towns. So thank you all for making that such a reality. And if Matt or our judges or any other founders wanted to say a word, please feel free.
Thanks for the opportunity, and thanks so much for what you do for drawing attention and putting a spotlight on rural innovation, and particularly technology. It matters and it makes a difference. So thank you.
Susan. Lots of people going off in the comments, so thank you all. Like we mentioned, we will be sharing all of the information and a blog post recap of this event so that everybody can know more about all of the founders that pitched here, all of the amazing industries and verticals, and a quick round of applause if everybody either literally clap or do the little reactions. Clap for the founders, clap for our judges, clap for everybody in the audience, and just thank you all again for making this a inspiring and I hope valuable event for you all. And again, yeah, to Julie's point, thank you first and foremost to the entrepreneurs. None of this would even be here or matter if it wasn't for them, the courageous people who choose to build things in a place that people just don't think is possible. So to you all, we salute you. We thank you. Have a great night, everybody.